Hi, this is Dayna with Novels Alive, and I'm sitting with Brad Parks, one of my favorite people. You keep me laughing.
Gosh, with that kind of build-up, they're going to be all disappointed at home now.
No, and I heard you sing Broadway.
I did this morning, actually.
Was it too late to hear it?
Well, it was at the debut author breakfast.
Right.
So all the debut authors are given a minute to pitch their books, and Brad Meltzer is going to be giving the keynote speech, and I'm thinking, what can I do in my minute that's going to stand out? So I'm like, gosh, ThrillerFest, it's in New York, it's right near Broadway, and suddenly it's Brad Meltzer. I'm sharing a stage with Brad Meltzer. I ought to shill my book, but all I do is look at him. And it went on from there.
Oh my gosh.
But, we had some fun, and Brad was a great sport about it. I didn't run it by him, he didn't know anything about it, but he completely rolled with it. So it was a good time.
Oh, you certainly are Mr. Personality. I mean, at RT, you just won everybody's heart.
Well, it's easy when there's only 5 guys there.
Oh, good point. But
I
still,
like my odds
but
every
still,
time.
I see here is no different, and there's how many people to this, and there's pretty equal amount of men and women. When you say, well,
Yeah,
no, there's
that's
probably
true.
more men.
You know what it is? Like, seriously, I love the hell out of being an author. I just do. And I think when you love something, and I kind of do have a lot of enthusiasm for life in general, so take the love and the enthusiasm and the energy, and it just kind of, I can't help myself. So.
Well, how much better is it to be doing something? I mean, when you were doing sports writing,
right.
I mean, clearly you love sports, and so
sure,
that was something
sure.
you enjoyed. But how much better is it to write what you want to write?
There's a special intimacy to being an author, because a newspaper article, say, is ultimately, it's many people's visions. It's, the editor has input and the writer has input, and it can be changed down the road, everything like that. Really, a novel it's really my vision, but then there's an important thing that happens. I give it to you, and it only really truly comes alive in your head. So, and then it becomes this shared experience that we have. And there's this cool thing when someone's read your book and they've really, gotten into a scene, and they'll start kind of telling you what it has invoked of an experience in their own life, and you realize that they've really internalized it, and that's just cool.
Oh, I would imagine that.
Yeah.
How can you beat that?
Yeah. Oh, I never stop. I was at a coffee shop a week ago. And this woman came up to me and said, I read the book the first time, and I raced right through it because I had to know what happened. And then I realized I hadn't really properly enjoyed it, so I stopped, I went, and I reread it a second time just so I could enjoy all the nuances. And I'm like,
oh, what a great comment.
Could you come with me and just kind of say that to me every day before I'm about to sit down and write? So for all the days where you're like, I can't write
just
today.
can't do another.
I'm the crappiest writer who ever lived. I should never write another sentence. This is horrible. This is dreck. Like, I just need to cue up that woman.
Can you put it on tape for me?
Exactly.
Let me replay it over and over. So the book that you've got out now is
Eyes of the Innocent.
Okay.
It is the second installment of the Carter Ross series.
But the first one out is called?
The first one out is Faces of the Gone,
right.
that is coming out in paperback in January 2011. So Eyes of the Innocent comes out in February 2011. Yeah, we kind of piggyback it right on. Same set of characters. The protagonist is a kind of smart alecky newspaper reporter, yet also somewhat dashing fellow.
And I bet you can sing Broadway songs.
I haven't made him sing yet. I wouldn't inflict that on Carter. And it's the same cast of characters, and it's the same setting, which is Newark, New Jersey, where, if you want to write crime fiction, Newark's a pretty good place to go.
I would think so. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the new one. You said something about a fire?
Well, yes. It starts with a fire that claims the life of 2 young boys. And so there are kind of several different streams going through that. There's those boys and their mother and the tumult she has gone through. And Carter Ross, the investigative reporter, has to first find the mother, and then he interviews the mother. And then it appears that everything the mother has said is a complete lie. And so, but then maybe it's not a complete lie. So we have that going on. Then we have the issue of foreclosure, which began to be...
timely?
Yes, it is very timely now. And it was actually something that started in the inner cities before it started in the rest of the country. So this is, it's funny, it makes me look like I have all this forethought, because this book was kind of written 2 years ago.
But you did.
But it kind of caught on, and so there's that. And then, of course, there's, hey, this is New Jersey, so there's political corruption involved too. Shocking, I know. Political corruption in New Jersey.
Absolutely stunned. So it's and you've got, so you're talking about the foreclosures.
Right, right.
Bring that into it a little bit.
Right.
And there may be a murder.
Yeah, you know, we kind of have to kill some people now and then. You know.
Just to spice it up a little bit.
Exactly.
And I don't know, we haven't done your first interview yet on Novels Live,
Okay.
but I want people to know where you write on a daily basis.
Yeah, I seem to be getting famous for that. I now am in a very rural part of Virginia. There are not a lot of options, and well, I write at the Hardee's.
Mm-hmm. And you said there's a bathroom close by.
Well, yeah, well, there's free refills on the soda,
Yeah.
and there's a bathroom, and of course, I know a lot of the people who watch Novels Live TV are writers themselves, so they'll appreciate this too. There is no wireless internet access. Hardee's is the last bastion of non-wireless internet access, which is a great thing as a writer because
No distractions.
there is no distraction, there is no email. I can't do research that suddenly becomes YouTube videos or you know, God knows what else
no.
you
It's
you
so
find.
easy to get
Oh
distracted.
yeah, you click from one thing to the next, and the next thing you know, an hour and a half has gone by.
When I'm working on something, I have to tell people, okay, I'm not checking my emails.
Yeah.
You know, or I'm not returning emails anyway because I just get too distracted.
I can show you. You know, this is TV, so we can do visuals.
Yes.
My secret weapon. This is a circa 2001 cell phone, roughly, which is great. It does not surf the web. It does not give me my email. I can talk on it. That's about all it does.
Oh, wow.
And that is just brilliant because the amount of possible distraction you can get from this little thing is so much less than all the gizmos and gadgets these days. So it's my best friend if I'm not replacing
works.
it.
And you are Mr. Mom as well.
I do. I have 2 young children, and I do have childcare help because some people get confused. It's like, how are you a stay-at-home dad and write books? Because that would be
At the Hardee's.
Yeah. That's basically when I'm at the Hardee's, somebody else is watching my kids. I have a very supportive and lovely wife, and some very helpful people with childcare. But yeah, and honestly, that's another great thing about being an author is it does. Other than when you're on the road and touring, it does afford you time to be with your children and to watch them grow up and to. Be a really involved and active part of their life. You know, 'cause
especially when they're little.
yeah, well, and hey, you can only write so many hours in a day, and then you obviously there's some time to do promotion, but at the same time, hey, something needs to happen. They get sick, or their little activities or whatever. I can be there for them. It's a lot of fun. It's a good lifestyle.
Well, I think it makes you a very happy man.
I am.
And it shows.
Well, that balance is just so critical in life.
Oh, it is.
That work, family, and I know so many people struggle with it so much. So to be able to strike that balance is such a wonderful thing.
Well, you've done it well.
Thank you.
And again, you're the life of the party. Wherever you go, wherever Brad is, there's a party going on. And we just love you.
Well, thanks for having me on, Dayna.
Thank you.